Joining us now is Lev Aron, a former coordinator of the Israel-India Parliamentary Friendship League and Israel-based freelance columnist and journalist. He's joining us from Haifa. First of all, Lev, hope you and your family are doing okay, because we know Iran has been sending across a barrage of missiles, particularly in that location.
Yes, we are all okay, and thank you for having me.
Lev, I want to understand from you what you make of the current situation. Look, with US stepping in now, there is a possibility of a retaliation from Iran, which means a further escalation in the conflict. Is that something Israel is fully prepared for?
I think as far as Israelis are concerned, if Iran had a way to retaliate better, they would do it a week ago, 5 days ago. Most Israelis do not think that right now the toolbox of Iran is it is quite empty as far as most Israelis are concerned.
You know, there was a lot of talk that maybe people assumed or believed that this would be a short-term conflict. But looking at the developments now, it does look like something that could play out for many more weeks now. Is that something, again, that Israel is prepared for, that Israelis have fully grappled with?
There is nothing that Israel wants more than, a short conflict and then a ceasefire. But once the most dangerous country wants to have the most dangerous weapon, I think most Israelis still have the stamina to see if Iran is giving up, if the regime is giving up. Maybe Iran and US will go back to Oman and sign a new agreement. We are still waiting.
Okay, at this point, of course, we don't know what Iran's response will be. But with the fear of escalation left, the worry is that, look, at the end of the day, in this kind of a conflict, and we've seen that in the last 10 days as well, civilians pay the ultimate price. I'm sure you've seen that in Haifa. In both Israel and Iran, civilians are paying the price. And that's a concern going forward, I'm sure that you agree with.
Yes, it is a concern. And it seems like Iran wants to murder Israeli citizens. I don't think that vice versa is true. I think mostly we see the bigwigs in Iran's intelligence and army and the political class. They are the ones that are mainly killed. Of course, you cannot kill only a person without some kind of collateral damage, but I don't think even Iranians think that we want to kill, the admis of Iran.
Well, there are reports that suggest that about 800 people have died in Iran too, which is what brings me to say that ultimately in any conflict, it's civilians, people who lose their lives and who are the worst affected. But Lev, to anyone who questions that, look, if this escalates, and God forbid it does, but if it escalates into a global conflict, the initiator of that is Israel. How would you respond to that? That Israel initiated what's essentially a war, not just limited to West Asia, but perhaps globally?
I can understand why some people may think that it was that the initiative was Israeli one, but once a very soft watchdog, like the International Atomic Agency, said that Iran is cheating, I believe that many people see Iran as the one who cheated and who wanted to have atomic capabilities, nuclear capabilities, and therefore you cannot see Israel as the one who started the war. Now, as far as the future is concerned, we must face the fact that Iran is quite isolated. We don't see any appetite from China or from Russia to be part of the war. Iran lost most of its chamchas in Gaza, in West Bank, the Hezbollah, in Lebanon, and so on. So right now, Iran is quite alone. So when we speak about escalation, we need to understand what it means.
What's the end goal here, Lev, as far as Israel is concerned? Look, it started off, Operation Rising Lion started off with the concern that Iran has nuclear weapons. The 3 nuke sites have been hit, both by Israel and now by America as well. Does that mean essentially that for Israel, this mission more or less is deemed over?
it will be not a surprise to you that what happened yesterday night is a personal achievement of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the MAGA separatists in America. So at least as far as Netanyahu is concerned, he hopes that America will not sign an agreement that lets Iran have any nuclear capabilities. And of course, most Israelis and Americans and maybe also Indians want to see a regime change. You know that Iran is, of course, very dangerous for Israel, but Iran is also fanning the flames in Kashmir. Iran is a very dangerous country for everybody.
So you think it suits India's interests too if there's a regime change in Iran?
I believe India wants a regime change in Iran because we have Pakistan who are fanning the flames in Kashmir, and also Iran is doing the same. So I'm sure that if there is a more, let's say, secular, rational regime in Iran, it will be a big benefit also for India, not only for Israel.
Okay, interesting perspective. I'll just put it out there that so far the communication that's of course come in from India has been, of course, that we are against any conflict, any violence, which has always been our stated position, that now is not the time for war. Thank you very much, Lev Aaron, for your time, for joining us. I hope you and your family stay safe out there and that we see a de-escalation very, very soon. Thank you.